To this channel, I'm just going to discuss a few problems that I have with the timeline of Wendi Adelson's lunch date. This is according to things that she said during her testimonies. During her 8-hour-long interrogation, Wendi mentions to a friend that she has the receipts which she tried to show the investigator. She mentions going to the liquor store. She mentions getting gas. And the TV repair guy was at her house in the morning. According to the records of the TV repair guy, he left Wendi's house no later than about 8:45 a.m. This has been brought up in various trials. In the same conversation with her friend, she states that she had a lunch planned for 1 p.m. with some friends. This was at Mosaic at 1410 Market Street, Tallahassee. In her third testimony during Charlie's trial, she said that she left her house at 12:45 p.m. Assistant State Attorney and lead prosecutor Georgia Kappelman suggested it was actually 12:30 p.m. But let's go with Wendi's time. Keep in mind that she had plans to meet at Mosaic at 1 p.m. With the shortest route from Wendi's house to Mosaic being either 5 miles via Centerville Road and Capitol Circuit Northeast taking 10 minutes, or 4 miles via Killarney Way, also taking 10 minutes, that would put her at the restaurant at 12:55 p.m., 5 minutes early. However, we know that she didn't go straight to Mosaic from home. This is where Wendi's house is. This is Dan's house, the crime scene. This is ABC Fine Wines and Spirits, also known as the liquor store. And this is Mosaic, the restaurant where she was meeting her friends at 1 p.m. In this presentation, it was 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday night in Tallahassee. The 5.8-mile drive from Wendi's house to ABC Fine Wines and Spirits, according to Google Maps, was 12 minutes. When creating this slide, it was 5:40 p.m. Monday evening, and that 5.8-mile route changed to between 13 and 15 minutes. Going via Dan Markel's house at 2116 Trescott Drive, Tallahassee, sees the 5.8-mile route increase to 6 miles. At the time that I made this slide, the drive from Wendi's house to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, according to Google Maps, was a constant 14 to 15 minutes. So not a shortcut, but not adding extra time during peak hour traffic. Wendi was meeting two friends for a lunch date at Mosaic at 1 p.m. However, leaving her house at 12:45 with a 14 to 15 minute drive would see her get to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits at 1 p.m., keeping her friends waiting for her. However, my theory is that Wendi never intended to make her lunch date at Mosaic, instead hoping that the police would track her down at her home address before she even got to jump in her car and go to lunch. More on that at the end of the video. And this would mean that she wouldn't have to visit the crime scene. In the planning of the murder, it was assumed that the 90 minutes between Dan being killed and Wendi's planned time to leave home to make her lunch date, she would be informed of his death by police. This is why she left so late to drive the 6 miles south before heading 3.2 miles north to Mosaic. Let's say it takes about a conservative 5 minutes to park the car, go into the store, ask for the bullet bourbon, flirt with the guy at the store so that he remembers you as an alibi, pay for the whiskey, and then return to the car. That's delaying her from getting to lunch with her friends by that 5 minutes, but I'd suggest it took 5 minutes longer. Keep in mind that going via the crime scene and turning around at the police roadblock and then taking Centerville Road onto Benton Road, which would have been the quickest way to get to the liquor store from Wendy's house, made her 5.8 turned into 6 mile and 12 minutes turned into a 14-minute drive into a 7.6 mile and 18 to 20-minute drive. Whether we call it 1:05 p.m. or 1:10 p.m. or even 1:15 p.m., Wendi is already late for her lunch date. However, she needs to stop for gas to get another receipt. I don't know which gas station she stopped at, but there is a Circle K with a Shell station on the right side of the road on the way to Mosaic, only 0.2 miles away. Here's the thing that I thought of while I was making this. Can anyone explain to me why Wendi would need receipts after the murder took place? The receipt from ABC Fine Wine and Spirits and the gas station receipt would both be acquired after she knew the murder had taken place. What does a receipt with a timestamp after the murder prove? Especially when those receipts put you in the radius of 710 yards or 650 meters as the crow flies from the crime scene, even less distance from the Circle K Shell station. It's a 1-minute drive from the liquor store to the most convenient gas station. Keep in mind, I don't know if this was the station Wendi stopped at. How long does a gas stop take? From driving in, finding a free pump, going in to pay, filling up, and then driving away, that could take 10 minutes. So if Wendi left home at 12:45 p.m., as she stated in Charlie's trial, and took 20 minutes to get to the liquor store via the crime scene, doing a K-turn, as she said, at the police block, getting back onto Centerville Road, as she mentioned in Katie's trial, and took 10 minutes at the liquor store and then a further 10 minutes from go to woe at the gas station, she's leaving the gas station at 1:25 p.m. in my estimation, with another 3.2 miles and 6 minutes to get to Mosaic. Mosaic closed in 2022, but the restaurant used to be at 1410 Market Street, Tallahassee, allowing for all the detours and stops to check out the crime scene and get receipts. Based on when Wendi said she left home, her arrival for the 1 p.m. lunch date would have been 1:30 p.m. Now, also, you've got to think about it. You've got to park the car and you've also got to walk in. But my theory is whether it was the liquor store, getting gas, or arriving at Mosaic, Wendi would have taken her time and would have not rushed around at any of these locations, as doing so would make her look guilty or something. Like she knows there are cameras all over the place, so she would have just taken her time. She wouldn't have rushed. Rushing around is what guilty people do. So I kind of just worked out estimated timeline on Wendi's testimony as to when she left home, based on what she said and based on what Georgia Kappelman suggested. Now, okay, I'm one of the people who believe that Wendi is guilty. But this does not prove any guilt here. None of this proves any of her guilt. I don't want this to be a confirmation bias. This video is not about that. So it doesn't prove Wendy's guilt, and obviously doesn't put it anywhere near the crime scene during the crime. What inspired me to make this is that she had plans with her friends at Mosaic, meeting at 1 p.m., but she goes out of her way to shop at her favorite liquor store that wasn't the closest to her final destination, and going via a route that is not a shortcut, and also stopping off for gas along the way. None of this is new. I'm not telling you anything new. But I just think that someone who was dressed the way that Wendy was when she was picked up didn't have any intent on meeting her friends for lunch. I also think just the time that she left, I don't think that she had any intent on going to lunch. I'm sure that she wanted to be picked up before, before she even left. And I also feel that someone who always presents well in public intentionally dressed down, knowing that she would be filmed in an interview at the police station. And had she dressed up, people would have accused her of dressing up for the camera. It is my theory that Wendy's choice of outfit was planned, as well as her conspiracy to murder the father of her children. Now, this is open for comments. I'd love to hear what you say. As always, this is not about the people who committed the crime. We've always got to remember this is justice for Dan Markel, and for his kids. Be interested in hearing your thoughts.